Hi guys, welcome back to another My Top 5, and today we will be doing my top 5 best players. So, I'm going to be ranking these at a social standpoint. So, it's technically an opposite of my last video that I did, which was my top 5 annoying players, which was pretty much like the types of players that I find really annoying. So pretty much this one is going to be like socially who are the best kinds or types of players. So before I begin, I am going to be naming names this time. Last time, that wouldn't have been a good place to name names, but this one I definitely think is a good place to do so. So, in that case though, if your name isn't on my list of names, as examples for each rank, it doesn't mean that you're a bad person. It just means that, when I was making this list, I just listed names that came off the top of my head for each category or rank. But, you could still be in these. It's just, I didn't think of your name. So, yeah, it doesn't mean you're a bad person. And, if you disagree with me, I honestly really don't fucking care. So, this is my list, and that's what it's going to be. However, if you do think that a name should be on here, and you would like to, list that name, maybe you have a friend that is like one of these best players, they belong in one of these categories, then feel free to put their name in the comments below. But, yeah, without further ado, I will now list the numbers. So at 5, we have players who don't care about clicks or cliques. Because, let's face it exists. A lot of the players on this game did grow up on the game. I was 12 or something like that when I started the game, so my high school experience being homeschooled was pretty much on this game, and I feel like a lot of people had some similar experience, and just, cliques or cliques will always be around a social community, just in general. So, a couple of names I have as an example. I have my notepad up here. You probably can't see it, but I have some names as examples for this. One of my really good friends I call Han, but it is XWN, Fluffy X, Cosplayer or Meteor Strike, Solana or Silana. But by the way, sorry if I butcher your name. I don't really know how to pronounce everybody's names. Melody and HD Link, Hasaki. Oh my gosh, I'm sorry, Dream. Hiramia. It's Dream. Donazo, Rue and Starkey, Tsukiro, Milkman, Bunny Kitty, Teacup, Goldwing, Everlit, Molar, Oramoon, Bedelia, Drewby, and Daishim. At number 4, we have players who don't base judgment on you after hearing something from a second party. So, in other terms, it means, people who don't take what could be just rumors to heart when they're meeting someone. Like, if, let's say, someone heard a rumor about me, like, Tamara is a bad person because of this happened, but it wasn't true. Maybe that person, if they weren't on this list, that person would be like, oh, okay, I'll stay away from them. Like, they actually took that to heart. They based their judgment off of what someone else said. But the people who are, in this category are the people who would hear that and they wouldn't base judgment. If they saw me, maybe they would still meet me and they would base their judgment off of how their experience was with me. Those are the best kinds of people. So some examples for this one would be Melody and HD Link, Hasaki. Oh, I do want to say that, a lot of these names will overlap. But there are a lot of names on here that are different. Donazo, Tsukiro, Milkman, Izuki, Yuna, Brafizzle, Rin, Griever, Kmi, or Kimi? I'm sorry. Lulusu, Brett, Toonlink Fan, Snowy, Ororoa, Mira, Hessam, Epic Advent, Everlit, Molar, Oramoon, Bedelia, Sly, I'm a Cat, and Zedro. So at number 3, we have players who take the time to help answer new player questions. You guys don't need to do this. Like, you don't need to take the time out of your day if you see some new player asking questions, but you're the ones who sit there and you explain everything to them. All of their questions are answered. You guys are great. That's all I want to say on that. Just, we need people like that, because new players are an absolute gem in this game. So rare and so precious. We need them. So some examples for the number 3 is Euler, Dream, Brafizzle, Sukiro, Kmi, Tabari, Gaeltair, Soljko, Snowy, Epic Advin, Yamanoki, Sushi, Panda, Kelspa, XWN, Pasternak, Goldwing, Everlit, Pax Seco, I don't know if that's actually how you say it, but Metacaptain, Coco Pop, and Chase with 2 E's at the end. So at number 2, I have players who allow you to revert a mistake you made. So things like accidentally buying something. Like, when, at one point, most people in this game have gone to a shop and they've accidentally bought something. It doesn't happen very often anymore, but it's happened. And it's happened to multiple people. And the people who you, maybe you went and asked them, like, hey, I accidentally bought this from your shop, could I have my gold back? You can have your item back. It was just an accident. The people who allow you to do that, and they're like, oh yeah, sure, of course, here's your money back. Those are great. Those people are the best, honestly. And unfortunately, I don't have any examples for that in names. I just know that it's happened quite a lot to everybody in the past, so we all know that that's a great thing to have. A great person to have within the community. So at number 1, we have players who are brutally honest and being real. This is something that, as I've grown older, I've realized is something very special to have. There's a lot of people in your life that maybe they're not being completely honest with you, and while at times that's, maybe a little sketchy, people who are brutally honest are being brutally honest for a reason. They care. They care for you. They want you to hear what you need to hear. And there just aren't many people like that anymore. So the examples I have for this are Izuki, first person I thought of, hands down, very blunt, very brutally honest. Definitely. Hisaki, Bunny Kitty, Kmi, XWN, Panda, Pasternak, Starlight X, Bonesetter, Hurtful, Memers, Everlit, Molar, Wei, Sunson, Locket, Ben, Severinette, Yuiko, Heaney, Anemki, Orca, and Loveness. So, as I was doing this, I had a couple of other thoughts of what could be on this list, and I kind of wanted to share those with you as well. I don't have examples for them because I feel like that would take too long. I took a while even thinking of the names for the ones that are on the list. But some other things that I thought of that didn't quite make it to the list but could be on this list are players who actually listen to what you have to say, and they don't cut you off to talk about themselves, so, they're not selfish or egotistical. Players who get excited about the same things you do, and they share that excitement with you, because that's just always fun to have around, like just that excitement, that happiness, and just, not being alone with that. And we have players who aren't on your friends list, but you always run into them and you have good talks with them. Always. Like, you kind of just consider them a friend even though they're not on your friends list, It's kind of like that sometimes. But yeah, so those are my top 5 best players. Like I said, you can always just name one of your friends in the comments below if you think that they belong on this list. And once again, please don't get mad at me if you don't agree with me. I don't give a shit because this is my list. This is just what I've experienced, and what vibe I get off of people, and if you're not on this list, I just didn't think of you. I'm sorry. You weren't the first name that I thought of. Maybe you do belong on the list, but you know. So yeah, I will see you all in the next My Top 5. Goodbye.